Welcome back to the channel, Vault Hunters, AzRealPLAYER here, and today I'm going to be diving into a big topic for Borderlands fans: the return of Pearlescent Loot in Borderlands 4. Randy Pitchford himself teased it in PAX East. I do take this as an indication that they are going to be returning, but in what capacity are they going to be returning? How are they actually going to go about bringing them back into Borderlands? Going all the way back to the early days of the first game, Borderlands, Pearlescents were the most sought after weapon rarity. In Borderlands, Pearlescent Loot was very good and it was very rare. It was actually meaningful and had value. But then they did bring them back into Borderlands 2 as well, and to be honest, they weren't that great. Pearlescents were originally brought in to be the pinnacle of the loot drops, so the best of the best. And they're supposed to be unique, you know, having distinct mechanics that stand out from typical loot and even legendaries because they are above them. And to be honest, to be able to even try to get a Pearlescent weapon going back to Borderlands, you had to do crawl kills, or obviously General Nox's farmery, or just get really lucky. And back in Borderlands 2, I remember doing the loot midget farm to try and get the Pearlescents and feeling very underwhelmed just because they just lacked so much. They were not great at all. So the question that a lot of people are asking is, how will Pearlescent weapons stand out in Borderlands 4 if they are implemented with the licensed part system? And maybe a better question is, how will Pearlescent weapons stand out in a world where blue or even purple guns can be custom built and powerful? Because there was a case in Borderlands 2 where your purple gear might be better than the Pearlescent because they just weren't great. Give these weapons a unique ability and function. The visual look of these weapons will matter massively as well. They need to look like the rarest loot in the game. These weapons actually need to stand out. I mean, they could even give you buffs when you're under certain conditions, modify your action skill, passive stats when you've got them equipped. I really do think that Pearlescent weapons also should have, you know, special firing sounds, unique reload animations would be really cool, and maybe some custom particle effects as well. They could even have set skins for the Pearlescent weapons as well, like glowing, iridescent skin textures, but just something that stands out overall. So, my overall thoughts on Pearlescent Loot coming to Borderlands 4, and in short, with the licensed parts system expanding customization for regular loot, Pearlescents need to be handcrafted, synergistic and non-replicable, so they will need to stand out by offering exclusive mechanics, combining brand parts in illegal or rare ways, and because they are the pinnacle of the loot table, they need to be powerful, but also not too overpowered, so they will need to try and balance them. A really cool way actually to implement Pearlescent weapons might actually be to add them to the end game dungeons. We know that dungeons are going to be a thing now in Borderlands 4 pretty much, so if they did that and it's sort of the end game content and they're locked behind really tough bosses and these hard dungeons, having Pearlescents as a possible loot drop for these dungeons and bosses will give more incentive to players to seek them out. Here's an example of a Pearlescent weapon that could exist in Borderlands 4 with illegal configuration, let's say, because it won't be able to exist with the licensed part system. So let's say you have the Jacob's frame, you've got a Maliwan barrel, you've got a Hyperion scope, a Vladov core, okay? And of course this would not be able to work. But it's a Pearlescent, and this is what makes it a Pearlescent. It has unique effects as well. It could fire a 3-shot burst if you're at 100% health, dealing bonus elemental damage. And it could even have like a random element on each trigger pull. And if you drop below full health, then maybe it could revert to a single powerful shot instead. And a cool thing would actually be as well on this weapon, if they did something like, you know, Zero with his mark for death, they put it into the weapon. So let's say you hit an enemy in the head 3 times, they become marked for death, they take 50% more damage from all sources for like 6 seconds. Stuff like this, man. Get creative with it. And how cool would it be to have a nod to previous Vault Hunters in a weapon? So this Pearlescent, you know, it's a reference to Zero, so like, I don't know, the audio cue after the 3rd kill creates a whispering echo of some dialogue from Zero. And maybe the visual look of this sniper rifle could have a glowing scope lens in it, changes colour based on the elemental damage you're doing. And maybe you've got like a subtle ghost-like trail following the bullets. I don't know, like I said, just get creative with it. I want to know what you guys think about this. I'm trying my best here to try to think of ways they can make these Pearlescent weapons really good and interesting in terms of their design and just the way they function. And the reason why these would work well in Borderlands 4 is because they would be so unique, because the fact you can't actually get these to drop with the regular brand licenses and the synergy, so it's exclusive. And for this specific weapon that I've just come up with, you know, it had like a dynamic decision making. So if you're at full health, you obviously get that 3-shot burst, but then you drop below that health threshold and you revert back to the single high impact shots. But anyway guys, I'm really glad that Randy has teased this, and to be honest, I pretty much think that confirms it in my opinion. You might not agree, but have a discussion in the comment section below, and I appreciate all the support on the recent videos, and if you can, it would really help me to drop a like and consider subscribing to the channel. I do plan on making a lot of Borderlands content to come from now and leading up to Borderlands 4. And when Borderlands 4 comes, believe me, I'm going to be making a lot more content. So hopefully you guys stick around. So I'll catch you in the next video guys.